Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where history meets treasure and a simple piece of metal can hold unimaginable fortune. Today, we bring before you top 4 of the most fascinating coins from the United Kingdom, the George's 6 1 penny from 1939, a coin that carries not just monetary worth, but also immense historical significance. This coin was struck during the reign of King George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth II. The year 1939 was no ordinary year. It was the beginning of the Second World War, a time when Britain stood on the edge of uncertainty. Every artifact from that year carries the weight of history, and this penny is no exception. The coin bears the proud portrait of King George VI, with the Latin inscription George's 6d Rex F. which means George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Just imagine, this was not just currency, it was a symbol of an empire that spanned across the globe. On the reverse, you'll find the figure of Britannia, seated with her trident and shield, representing the power and strength of Britain during those challenging times. This design had been used for decades on the British penny, but when struck in 1939, it became a coin forever tied to the dawn of global conflict. What makes the 1939 penny so captivating is that it comes from a pivotal year. While millions were minted for circulation, coins in uncirculated or pristine condition are scarce and command incredible prices. And when we talk about rarity in the world of coins, condition and history together create true value. Collectors across the world look for these coins, and when found in mint state, they can fetch astonishing amounts. In fact, some rare pieces have been auctioned for over $10,000, while top-graded examples with flawless preservation have been valued even higher. This is not just a coin you hold in your palm. This is a piece of living history from the time when the world was about to change forever. Owning such a coin is like holding a fragment of 1939 itself, the year that tested courage, endurance, and the future of nations. The 1939 penny without mint mark is especially desired because it links to the standard London issues, making it a key target for collectors completing their pre-decimal British coin sets. Each one has a story to tell, and every collector knows that not all coins are created equal, some become legends. And this, my friends, is where the magic happens. When you bring together history, rarity, and condition, you find yourself with a coin that can transform into a treasure worth thousands. Imagine the thrill of discovering a 1939 penny in brilliant, uncirculated state, and then seeing it valued at more than $25,000 in specialized auctions. The truth is, opportunities like this are rare. Not every collector will ever hold such a coin in their hands, but those who do will know the joy of possessing something that continues to grow in value as time passes. The market for British coins is only getting stronger, and the demand for high-grade George VI pennies is climbing. Now picture this: a coin that was once worth a single penny, a tiny fraction of a dollar, now has the potential to bring in life-changing amounts of money. From $15,000 to $40,000 and beyond, depending on its condition and provenance, this coin can turn into a prize beyond imagination. And what makes it even more valuable is the story behind it. This was a coin minted just before the Great War disrupted economies, production, and lives. It carries within it the whispers of history, of soldiers, families, and a nation standing resilient. For collectors, it is not just about metal and numbers, it is about connection. Owning the 1939 George VI penny means you own a silent witness to one of humanity's greatest struggles and triumphs. That is what makes it priceless. So if you ever come across this coin, never take it lightly. Every scratch, every shine, every preserved detail can mean the difference between a few $1,000s and over $50,000 in auction houses where passionate collectors compete to own it. Ladies and gentlemen, treasure hunting isn't just in the movies. It lives here, in coins like the 1939 George VI penny, waiting to be discovered, valued, and cherished. Remember this: what seems ordinary can hold extraordinary power. A coin from your grandfather's collection or an old drawer could be worth more than a luxury car, more than gold, more than you ever imagined. The maximum recorded prices of these coins have shocked the world. Some of the finest examples, perfectly preserved, have touched levels beyond $72,000 in elite auctions. Yes, $72,000 for a coin that once bought a loaf of bread. That is the beauty of numismatics. So I leave you with this inspiration. Keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of history hidden in the palm of your hand. Because one day, that 1939 penny might just be your ticket to fortune. Next up, the Georgiev's 6 penny from 1944. This coin was struck during the reign of King George VI, a ruler who guided the United Kingdom through one of the darkest periods of the 20th century, the Second World War. Every coin minted during those war years is a testimony of survival, resilience, and the strength of a nation determined to endure. On its obverse, you'll find the proud portrait of King George VI, carved with dignity and strength, wearing no crown, a symbol of humility and leadership. Around it reads the inscription, Georgiev's 6D Degit Brom.Rex F.Amp, a Latin declaration of his royal authority and his title as Emperor of India. The reverse carries Britannia, the timeless guardian of British power, seated with trident in hand and shield at her side, gazing firmly ahead. This image had graced the British penny for decades, yet in 1944, as bombs fell and the world burned, it carried a deeper meaning, the perseverance of a nation that refused to bow down. The year 1944 was monumental. It marked the D-Day landings, a turning point of the war. A coin struck in that very year does not just represent currency, it embodies the courage of soldiers, the sacrifices of families, and the determination of a people who believed in victory. That historical link is what gives the 1944 penny a unique prestige among collectors. Now, while millions of these coins were minted, the true magic lies in rarity of condition. Most were heavily circulated, worn down by years of use, but those preserved in high grade, untouched by time, are the ones that captivate collectors and command extraordinary prices. Auction houses and passionate collectors across the globe know the value of a pristine George VI penny. And while the coin itself may have been worth just 1 penny in 1944, today its maximum potential can reach astonishing heights. Well-preserved examples have already crossed the $10,000 mark, and experts believe that in the future, top-graded pieces could soar beyond $25,000 or even $40,000. The question is, can this coin grow in value over time? Absolutely. History has shown us that coins tied to global events and iconic leaders do not lose significance. Instead, they become even more desirable as decades pass. The 1944 penny, minted in the year of Allied victory in Europe, holds a story that will forever attract collectors. Imagine the thrill of discovering one in brilliant, uncirculated condition, untouched since the day it left the Royal Mint. That very coin could be worth not just thousands, but tens of thousands of dollars, especially as global demand for World War II-era coins continues to climb. At this very moment, depending on condition, a 1944 penny can sell anywhere from a few $1,000s in circulated grades to maximums reaching around $15,000 to $20,000 for those in exceptional mint state. And as the years roll on, there is no limit to how high that figure can rise. The ceiling could touch $50,000 or even beyond in the right marketplace, especially if tied to provenance or discovered in flawless perfection. But remember, the real power of this coin is not only in its monetary worth, but in the story it tells. It is a coin born out of war, a survivor of history, and a symbol of triumph. Every time you hold it, you hold the spirit of 1944 in your hand, a year when humanity fought back and turned the tide of history. For collectors, this is not just metal, it is passion, heritage, and opportunity. Owning a George VI penny from 1944 is like owning a piece of victory itself, a relic from the very year the world shifted toward peace. That is what makes it priceless, and that is why its value will never fade. Ladies and gentlemen, coins like these are silent treasures. They whisper stories of kings, wars, and empires. They remind us that what seems small can become mighty. And they show us that a single penny can be worth more than gold when history breathes life into it. So let me tell you this. If you ever find a 1944 Georgiev's 6 penny with no mint mark, treasure it, protect it, and hold on to it. Because in the world of collecting, such a coin is not just valuable today, it is a fortune waiting to grow tomorrow. The maximum value of this coin is already climbing higher than ever before, and as years pass, it may well break past $72,000 in elite auctions. That is the power of history, rarity, and passion combined. Remember, fortunes are not only found in banks or investments. Sometimes, they are hidden in old drawers, passed down in families, waiting to be discovered by those who know their worth. The 1944 penny is proof of that truth. And so, the story continues. The penny that once bought a loaf of bread in 1944 is now a treasure worth thousands, and in the future, it may be worth even more. This is the power of numismatics. This is the beauty of history, and this is your chance to uncover the extraordinary in the ordinary. Next up, the remarkable Georgiev 6 penny from 1945, a coin that carries history, legacy, and incredible value. The 1945 penny was minted during the reign of King George VI, father of Queen Elizabeth II. It was struck at the end of the Second World War, a year that marked victory and the beginning of a new era for Britain and the world. This makes it a coin of immense symbolic power, tied directly to one of humanity's greatest turning points. On the obverse side, the coin proudly displays the portrait of George VI, with the Latin inscription, Georgiev 6d Brom.rex f.dimp. This inscription means, George VI, by the grace of God, King of all Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Just reading those words reminds us of the strength of an empire rebuilding itself after the devastation of war. The reverse side, as tradition carried, shows Britannia seated with her trident, shield, and helmet, a timeless symbol of British power and determination. But the 1945 Britannia was not just a design, she was a silent emblem of a nation that had just survived a world war and was standing proud once again. The history behind this coin is what elevates its importance. It was minted in large numbers because Britain needed working money during the post-war rebuilding. But while circulation was heavy, only a fraction of these coins survived in pristine or uncirculated condition. And those rare survivors are the ones that today bring fortunes at auction. Collectors worldwide seek this coin. And the demand is strong, because the year 1945 holds a special place in human memory. How many people want to buy it? The answer is simple. Thousands of collectors, historians, and investors across the world look for this coin, and competition is fierce for the best examples. As for its value, it continues to rise year after year. Circulated pieces are still collected, but the real treasure lies in coins preserved in mint state. Such examples have already been sold for amounts exceeding $15,000, and some premium pieces in top grading conditions are now touching $25,000 or more. This proves that the 1945 penny is not just an old coin, it is a financial asset, a historical artifact, and a collector's dream. Its value is already high, and experts predict that in the future it could easily reach beyond $50,000 and in rare cases even climb towards $75,000 or higher. The coin was built because the nation needed currency in the aftermath of the war. Britain had to keep its economy moving, people had to work, trade, and rebuild. The 1945 penny was one of the silent engines of that rebuilding, a tool of daily survival that has now transformed into a symbol of triumph. Think of it like this. The same penny that once bought a small piece of bread in 1945 has now become a treasure worth the price of luxury cars, diamonds, or even houses. That is the extraordinary power of numismatics. History and rarity convert the simplest of objects into priceless wonders. What makes it even more exciting is the fact that as years pass, fewer and fewer high-grade specimens remain. Those that do are now considered trophies, and collectors compete fiercely to own them. When two or more passionate buyers enter an auction for this coin, prices can skyrocket. So when we ask if its value is high or low, the answer is clear. It is high, and it is only getting higher. This coin is already a gem in the market, and its future looks brighter than ever. The world of coin collecting has shown us that historical pieces tied to key events like World War II always climb in value, never the opposite. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever come across a 1945 penny in outstanding condition, you may very well be holding your ticket to a fortune. At this very moment, the maximum value has touched around $30,000 in auctions, and experts believe it could one day break $72,000 in the hands of the right buyer. The beauty of this story is that it is real. This is not fiction, but history in your palm. A simple penny from 1945, minted without mint mark, is today a collectible that investors, historians, and passionate collectors will pay handsomely to acquire. And that, my friends, is what makes the 1945 penny truly valuable. It represents history, survival, legacy, and wealth all in one. It teaches us that greatness is not always about size or shine. Sometimes, it is about the story behind the object. So let this inspire you. Check your collections, search your boxes of old coins, and look closely, because you never know, your 1945 penny could be waiting, ready to change your life. Because what was once worth only 1 penny, today is worth thousands, and tomorrow it may be worth even more. That is the magic of this incredible coin. Next up, the United Kingdom George VI 1 penny from 1946. This coin is not just an ordinary piece of metal, it is a treasure filled with history, mystery, and incredible value. The year 1946 was a time of great change. The world had just emerged from the devastation of the Second World War. Britain was in a period of recovery, rebuilding cities, economies, and lives. Every coin struck in this era was part of that new beginning, and the 1946 penny became a symbol of resilience. On the obverse of this coin, you'll find the portrait of King George VI, carved with strength and humility. His image reminded people of the steady leadership that had guided Britain through the hardest years of war. The Latin inscription around his profile stood as a declaration of his authority and the strength of the empire. On the reverse sits Britannia, holding her trident and shield, facing the horizon with pride. This design, which had graced the penny for generations, carried deeper meaning in 1946. It was a message of endurance, that no matter the storm, Britain would stand tall and strong. The 1946 penny holds unique value because it connects directly to the post-war transformation. Millions of coins circulated, but very few survived in the kind of pristine condition that excites collectors today. Most were worn through years of use, but those preserved in mint state shine like hidden diamonds. Collectors from across the world seek this coin. They know that the combination of George VI's reign, the post-war date, and the historical symbolism makes it a must-have for any serious collection. The demand is strong, and the prices reflect that passion. Where can you buy such a coin? The answer lies in trusted auction houses, reputable coin dealers, and certified online platforms dedicated to numismatics. These are the markets where the most valuable examples appear, sometimes drawing fierce bidding wars that push prices to unbelievable heights. And where can you sell it? Again, auction houses and private collectors are the best routes. A well-preserved 1946 penny can command thousands of dollars, especially if graded and sealed by professional certification companies. In fact, sealing the coin in a protective holder is the smartest way to protect its value and attract top buyers. Should you keep it or not? The answer is simple: keep it safe. Every year, coins like the 1946 penny gain more interest and more value. As time passes, rarity increases, and the maximum price grows higher. What might be valued at $15,000 today could be worth $40,000 or even $75,000 in the future. The question of whether it is worth that much has already been answered by the marketplace. Collectors have proven that they will pay extraordinary amounts for this coin in high grades. Recent auctions have seen values climbing well past $20,000 for the best examples, and experts believe this is only the beginning. Sealing the coin is essential if you want to achieve maximum value. A certified grade adds trust and authenticity, giving buyers the confidence to spend big amounts. That little piece of plastic around your coin could be the difference between a few thousand and tens of thousands of dollars. Think about it. The same penny that once bought a small item in 1946 is today worth more than luxury watches, cars, and even gold bars in some cases. That is the transformation only history and rarity can create. And the beauty of it is this: the 1946 penny is not just valuable for its price tag. It is valuable because of the story it tells. It whispers of Britain's recovery, of families rebuilding after hardship, of a nation finding its strength once again. To hold this coin is to hold a piece of that incredible journey. Ladies and gentlemen, coins like this are proof that the greatest treasures are sometimes the ones we overlook. That little coin in your drawer, that inheritance passed down by grandparents, may be worth a fortune if it is a 1946 penny in high grade. So the choice is yours. You can treat it like just another coin, or you can treasure it, protect it, seal it, and watch as its value grows with time. Remember, history never loses its shine, and neither do coins like this. Already, the maximum value of the 1946 penny has been seen climbing above $30,000, and collectors predict it could easily push past $72,000 in years to come. That is the extraordinary potential hidden in such a simple object. So if you are lucky enough to own a George VI 1946 penny, cherish it. Keep it sealed, protect it from time, and know that you are holding not just a coin, but a fortune waiting to unfold. Because the 1946 penny is more than currency. It is history, it is wealth, and it is an everlasting reminder that the smallest things can carry the greatest value.